Quick marketing idea for Rivian here and R1T. Go grab somebody like Mav or Steve Wallis or both and just give them one of these trucks. Or if you don't want to give them one, and lend them one for a year. And just let them go boondock all over the place, just cooking up food everywhere they go. I thought this was pretty clever. Um, it's Ford's doing that thing with the generate. It's got a generator and powers your whole house type of thing for a little while, anyways. This is also pretty cool. But my thought was, I'm always looking at new product launches. I'm looking at, how do you dominate a market? How do you take over a market? They brought this electric truck to market, faster than we saw the Cybertruck, anyways. It's like, well, how do you really get just a super head start? And as these things start rolling off the line, how do you just, and also how do you get the most mileage without spending a boatload on ad spend? Go give them to these, go, lend or give away some of these to these outdoors, boondocking type of YouTubers. And, Mav has drove in his F 150 all over the place into Mexico. He's got a Volkswagen Beetle that it looks like someone took a Sawzall to and just chopped the back of it off and threw probably a free pop-up camper they found on Craigslist on the back of it. This kid's driving all over the place in that Beetle with this pop-up camper on the back of it, and he's always cooking up food. He's taking recipes from viewers. Here's a truck with a kitchen. Steve Wallis up in Canada, dude's boondocking everywhere, always cooking food up no matter what, cracking a step two, and just cooking up a bunch of food, the normal normal Steve Wallis. I'm gonna make a little sub tonight, and he pulls out a 3.5 meter Italian sub. Shout out to the people that know what I'm talking about. But hey, Rivian, go throw one of these trucks to, Mav or Steve Wallace. There's a whole bunch of other people out there that do this type of stuff. And just let them go document their life with an R1T, traveling around the country, or just North America as a whole, boondocking and just cooking up food everywhere. I'll tune in. I like watching those guys anyways. They're entertaining. I like the outdoors, and I'm a foodie. So it kind of gives me everything I want in one shot. I like car culture, so I can get the truck, I can get the food, and get the outdoors and some entertainment all in one shot. But probably some of the cheapest marketing you could get is just by getting them into the hands of these people that have really loyal fan bases that are growing. It's cool to see this thing rolling off. We did an episode not too long ago, Kane and I, talking about, when's these things going to roll off the line? We got pretty big production ambitions. And we were like, all right, so when we have one roll out, we'll start to believe it. And now it looks like it's time to believe. I've never been like anti-Tesla. I've never loved their vehicles. I feel like they remind me of the movie WALL-E. If you ever seen it, it's like a animated kids movie. I don't even know if it's kids, adults, whoever it was made for. It just gives me that WALL-E feeling that never loved them. I like cars. I have race cars. I have old cars. I have a pickup truck. I have a very wide variety of automobiles, and I love off-roading. I would lift a truck. I like going to the racetrack. I like going to the drag strip. I like classic cars. Like, I consider myself a car person. I was never a huge fan of how Teslas looked. And, the Cybertruck was cool, but I thought it was like one of those things that it felt more a PR stunt than anything else. I'm fine with the way my truck looks or how most trucks look today. I need to be able to fit, plywood easily in the back of the bed, and the cabin needs to be big. And that's always been my issue with some of the electric cars. They've always been on the smaller side. I'm a big dude. I'm tall, and I'm the size of a linebacker. You don't want to put 3 or 4 people in somewhere and travel. You want room. You want space. Room for luggage. It's just one of those things. I just like space, and I think a lot of Americans like space in general. And a lot of electric cars are just smaller, and it's one of the things I don't like. So to see like something that's a more of a traditional pickup truck, that's why I say at the end of the day, like we're sold on these electric vehicles thinking that someone's reinvented the automobile, and they haven't. They still got 4 wheels and doors. What we've reinvented is the powertrain, and what you're seeing now is Ford's dropping an electric powertrain and their normal kind of looking F-150. You're seeing something that looks just like a Porsche. It's got an electrified powertrain in it. So instead of trying to have this like future looking kind of cars, it's the rest of the world's like, cars are more than just powertrains. There's a lot of intellectual property, the knobs, the design, the seats, the windows. There's so much, the suspension. There's so much that goes into a car more than a powertrain. So when I look at Tesla, and the Rivian beat them out to market here on the truck, but when you look at it, Tesla, they invented a really great powertrain or a battery system. If you want, I don't follow that closely. I see a powertrain, but then I don't like the car itself. I would love to take their powertrain and put it in some other car. But did the rest of the world think that BMW and Mercedes and Porsche and GM and Ford were just going to roll over and go out of business? Man, no. They got a lot of capable vehicles out there, and they were too busy selling millions of cars to worry about selling a couple 100,000 electric cars. Now that it comes into focus, you're now seeing more and more and more. Like you got the Audi e-tron coming out. Porsche already has their out. You got that Mustang that's out that's electric now. The F-150 is coming. How about that Hummer? That's like, I started looking at, granted, I will probably still keep my diesel truck unless, they come out with a heavy duty version of an electric that can tow a big load for 450, 500 miles without me stopping. The last thing I want to do when I have a giant, if I'm pulling a big trailer, if you're double towing, if you've ever double towed, the last thing I want to do is have to stop and get diesel or get gas. I want to get to my destination. I want to drop my trailers and then go fill up. No one likes stopping when you're pulling big trailers or double towing. So, but the Hummer looks pretty cool. And if GM can actually come out with all the specs that they're saying, it's like, all right, this is something I would consider. So it's cool to see the R1T out there. I like where we're going. I always like gas and diesel engines. I own an iWatch and I own several automatic mechanical watches, for example. I still appreciate engines and turbos and superchargers and manual transmissions. There's these things I still like. And I think they both can exist in one world. I don't think the world has to be one or the other. But for me personally, I'm starting to see some vehicles that I'd actually buy. So cool to see this one. Would love to see Rivian give one out to Mav or Steve Wallis or somebody else that's in that space of like boondocking and traveling around that also happens to like to cook. The foodie in me is always excited to see like what are they cooking on the fire. When I go camping, even though it's straight up car camping, it's not like I'm backpacking on the trail somewhere. It's car camping, but I still like cooking over the wood fire. I still like cooking in a lodge, cast iron pans. I like making the pies in the cast iron and like grilling the sandwiches over the fire. Like I enjoy that when I get away. I want to be by the lake, want to be up north, want to be in the trees. I don't necessarily need to decompress. I just enjoy that environment. So, this would be the right people to get this truck, get this into their hands. Let them use this outdoor cooking station. Hell, even give them some budget. They can go to campgrounds and cook food and have people come by and check it out. I mean, they are your press tour at the end of the day. Anyways, I'm just out here saying, throw this out to a couple people on YouTube that got those channels, and let's see what happens. Probably the most mileage, no pun intended, for PR that you're going to get. And it would just be a cool thing to do. So, anyways, there's my free marketing idea of the day. I will catch you on the next one.